This is test 3 review. Alright, so we're working on number 5, 6, and 7, which is locating fractions on a number line. Alright, so when doing this, what we're looking for is whether the fraction is larger than 1 or less than 1. Fractions larger than 1 or equal to 1 will then be at a whole number mark or beyond the whole number mark. If a fraction is less than 1, then you will have to place it less than 1. So that's the overall picture that will help you begin to do the problem right every time. If you can identify a proper or improper fraction, then that helps you locate whether you're going to put the fraction, if it's less than 1, between 0 and 1, or if it's improper and more than 1, or even equal to 1, then you're going to put it here or beyond. So in number 5, you have 6/5. This is an improper fraction, if you remember, because the numerator is larger than the denominator. And then to understand what that means on a number line, let's turn the mixed fraction into, I'm moving my cursor all over, into a mixed number. So our improper fraction, we change it to a mixed number. It'll help us place it on the number line more easily. 5 into 6 is 1, so you have 5. 6 minus 5 is 1, so you have 1 and 1/5 as a mixed number. So 6/5 equals 1 and 1/5. Well, now you know, you've identified it as improper, now you changed it to a mixed number, and it's easier to understand where to put it on the number line because you have the number 1. So you know you have to go at least that far to number 1. Now you have to go 1/5 beyond the number 1. Well, in order to do that, between 1 and 2 you have to make 4 marks so that this little segment, the segment between 1 and 2 is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. See these little black pieces? You're dividing that segment of line into 5 pieces. So 1/5 is here, 2/5 is here, 3/5, 4/5. 5/5, of course, will bring you all the way to 2. Alright, so when you identify the place on the number line, let's use green, then you have right here is 1 and 1/5. 1 and 1/5 belongs right at that mark there. It's 1/5 of a way past the number 1. So over here, number 6, we're going to identify 21/5. Well, it's a very improper fraction. Not that anything can be very improper really in math, but 21 is the numerator is larger than the denominator. But let's make it easier to understand where to put it on the number line by dividing, so that we're changing the improper fraction to a mixed number. 5 into 21 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 21 minus 20 is 1, so 4 and 1/5. So once again, we're going to have to go 1/5 beyond the number 4. So let me write that clearly. 4 and 1/5. That's what this improper fraction then equals, 4 and 1/5. So we have to go to the number 4. We go to the number 4, and if we had the number 5 there, we'd be having a line segment that we're going to chop into 5 pieces. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1/5 along this line segment is at the first mark. So the first mark, and we're trying to do that in green, once again, it's this one mark beyond the 4, that will be 4 1/5, just like the one mark here beyond the 1 is 1 1/5. It's really best when you're doing these to show me that you know to divide the line segment into 5 pieces. I only made 4 marks because we're looking at the spaces. There's 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5 space, and maybe you could see it better here. 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5 space. So we're separating the segment into 5 spaces. That helps me know you really understand it. I might be inclined not to take a lot of points off, but maybe a point off if you're just going to draw one line mark and then say 4 1/5. I will consider that you get the overall picture, but telling me where all the segments are will say you really get the overall picture. Okay, so on number 7, we have to notice here that 5/8 is less than 1. This number is a proper fraction less than 1. So let's put that in big letters. Really important thing to know. And this is one of the most common mistakes on tests, is putting a fraction less than 1 beyond the number 1. It doesn't belong anywhere beyond this point. We now are looking at the segments between 0 and 1. So we have to think of this line that we're cutting up into 8 pieces, or 8 spaces. So we make 7 lines to make 8 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Goodness. And 5/8, of course, is 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5/8 is going to lie right there, that 5th line. And that will tell me that it's 5/8 right there. Okay, so that's the answers to 5, 6, and 7. The most important piece of to decipher or to begin to understand where these fractions go is to look at them first to see if they're proper or improper fractions. If they're proper fractions, they're less than 1, and that's important to know because then you will be drawing between the 0 and the 1.